Ladies and gentlemen, the Ernie Ball VP Jr. A really great volume pedal until you have to get in there and start replacing the strings and the springs in the back. I've got a couple of tips for you that I've learned from trial and error, and hopefully they'll help you out. Here's our kit. Installing these things can be quite a pain in the butt. So I use a couple of specialty tools like these tweezers to help wind the string. I've got a little inspection mirror. That way I can make sure that the windings are going on there properly. You don't have to have these tools, but they kind of help the process. The big secret for me is using this blue painter's tape. You can get it from Lowe's, you can get it from Home Depot. It helps you hold the strings down so that way you don't lose some of the windings that you've been carefully putting on there. It's a real lifesaver, and it can turn a horrible job into just a terrible job. So let's get on it. I've got my tools here and the blue tape. Got my string kit ready. And then I also built this little specialty tool out of coat hanger to help me hold the spring that's in the pedal so I can keep tension on the line. I always have some of the tape pre-cut and ready, because that way I can just reach over and grab a piece and fasten down the end of the string. Now I can't hold the camera and do all this, so I'll just show you that I'm putting the little small string through the back of the volume pedal, through the little eyelet. And then I'll loop it through this little pulley, and now I'll show you what I do with that first piece of tape. I want the string to stay put in that pulley, so I'll just grab a big old piece of tape and lay it across the back. That'll allow me to work with the pedal without having to worry about the string coming out. And now, with the tape on there, I don't have to worry about the string coming out of the pulley. I don't have to worry about how I handle the pedal or holding it at the wrong angle. So the next thing is to get the spring on there. So I'll loop it through there and grab a thinner piece of tape and wrap it around there. And now I don't have to worry about it going anywhere. It's going to stay put. So let's go to the front of the pedal. And I've got it on its side, and I've got the longer piece of string, and I thread it from the back. It's a Kevlar string, and it's double braided, and I wish it were a single braid. I wish it were one strand. That'd make things a lot simpler. But you pull it through, and I'll set it up. And now the fun part. A couple of things here. You want to make sure that this brass pulley is all the way counterclockwise before you start winding. And this will be the first wind. This is going to be one of three. There's three in all. And I usually hold it with my finger as I wrap it around. And I'll typically grab the tweezers to help wrap around the brass pulley. And I'll get it to a point to where I'll pull the very end of the string out and stick a piece of tape on there. And that'll hold it in place. That way I have to worry about getting any slack in the line and then my wraps coming undone. That's the hardest part of this whole job. You have to make sure that these strands don't overlap each other and twist on the pulley, otherwise it could break the string. All right, so I've got my wraps on there and I've got the string end right there. This is a very vulnerable part of the whole process, and I'll want to make sure that I fasten that down with a piece of tape. And let's see what that looks like. All right, I've got the tape on there. It's holding it down. And I've inspected it with my little inspection mirror to make sure that the wraps aren't, winding on top of each other. And everything seems to be working out. The next thing I have to do is try to connect this end of this loop to the spring in the back. You can see it there in the back. So I'll grab my little tool that I built, and I'll grab the spring up with that and take a pair of the tweezers and get the loop onto the spring. Okay, so once you get that done, you can remove the tape, and I'll use my tweezers to get that little back piece off. So there's another step. We need to get this string on that little front roller right there. That'll take up the remaining slack in the line. So to get the line on the front roller, I normally take this front plate off and then take a piece of coat hanger with a big loop on it, and wrap it around the string, and then I'll twist it over and get it on the roller. So first let's take off this front plate. With it removed, you can see that everything's looking pretty good, that the winds are parallel. You know, you could also take off that front unit in order to be able to access the insides of the pedal early on in this process. I just wait till the end because I don't want to mess with the wiring and maybe break a wire off. You just have to be careful. So I've used the coat hanger wire to pull the string over on the pulley. You can see it's on there now. So we need to reassemble the pedal and make some adjustments and then make sure it works. So last little adjustment, you can see that it doesn't go all the way down when I push it. It doesn't go all the way down. So what I'll do is I'll grab the coat hanger, put it through the spring, and take some of the slack off the line and then push down on the back. So I can't do it and hold the camera, so let me do that real quick and I'll show you what the result is. All right, here we go. I did it, and it goes all the way back. Let's test it. Okay, you can see that it's working as it should. So I hope these tips will help you out as far as replacing the string in your pedal too. All right, thanks.